Hello. Sorry about the video being the sound was kind of like in and out. I'm getting used to this. I need to step up to the plate, loud and proud, right? Better? I can hear. Should be able to hear if I step away. I mean, I can hear myself, but I want to make sure that you can hear what Kathy O'Brien has to say. Let's work on this PTSD healing with compassion. Okay. So first of all, let's burn some sage. Hope you did your uh, healing or meditation and filling our bodies up with the divine light. Light, healing, light. Wow, that smells so good. I think I like the sage in these incense burners the best because the wrapped ones, I even bought the plant to make my own sage. And it just seems to smell better and burn better. I like the roses on these. So we'll see. They're so much easier to light too. There. Archangel Metatron. Cover our electronics. Protect our collective. Continue on our healing journey. No matter what stage you're at. Archangel Michael says hi. The point is that we get started. That's the most important. Okay. Remember to drink a lot of water, fresh, clear water, and take good care of yourself. Self-care. And some house cleaning. Well, I got those leaves up last night. I just did it with a water hose. And then now I got to pick them up. And then got a broom and a wet paper towel and got all the cobwebs. Yay! Yay me! So that's the cool thing about YouTube. I can put my headphones on and listen while I work, and whistle while I work. So, uh, so to continue on with Time to Heal, PTSD, Time to Heal by Kathy O'Brien, who was, as a child, sold into trafficking. And she had a daughter during the time that she was dealing with her abuse. And I remember in an interview, she said that her daughter likes staying in an institution because she feels safer there. And Kathy O'Brien, she likes her freedom. I think she lives in Orange County, but it's private because she's protected and divinely protected. She's on a mission to share her story, whistleblow on her um, the MK Ultra program, mind control, torture, abuse, and how someone named Mark helped her escape, her and her daughter, and how she slowly started to trust him. He never forced her. She noticed that the animals, just kind of like bringing you up to speed, she noticed the animals were very trusting and had good vibes around him. So um, she felt like she was able to come out from behind her thick walls. And he had her doing a project with collaging all her triggers and processing these and healing them. So check the other videos and come up to speed, okay? Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for the likes. You guys are awesome. I hope this helps someone. So, the last chapter we read was on the triggers. And this is a great book if you want to get it, by the way. I bought this one used on Amazon and it was $12, probably less than that because it's used. But it was like new. It was in good condition and easy to read, nice and big. And so let's start at food for thought. Listening to your body is an easy way to reattach to being present. Our bodies went through trauma with us and need to be nurtured while we reclaim our minds and lives. Sleep, food, and water deprivation are common components of mind control and contribute strongly to heightened suggestibility under any circumstances. Our brain's electrochemical activity is driven by nutrition, which can either accelerate healing or decelerate free thought. Secret knowledge equals power, and those power hungry sociopaths who adhere to mind controlling individuals and or populations impose secrecy in many facets of our lives. Secrets such as the effects of artificial sweeteners on our brains. Chemical and pharmaceutical companies manufacture, genetically alter, and unnaturally treat our foods in order to affect our physical and mental health. Thank you. I agree. So you can grow your own garden, non-GMO, heirloom seeds. Excuse me, Harry, start burping. Oh my gosh. Got my Zevia though. I have to have my drink when I read. Okay. All right. I also wanted to mention about the mind control, people who've been through the mind control. And it's also a way of breaking old patterns, old belief systems that have been destructive, not productive. And this is what she's we're following her on her healing journey on changing from the destruction that has happened to her entire life since she was a baby. And how she turns that into something productive and how she helps others. This is my second time reading this book, by the way. So, secret knowledge equals power, and those power hungry sociopaths, we just read that, follow the money, and it becomes clear how pharmaceutical companies benefit by first creating ill health and then treating it. Under MK Ultra mind control, I was fed copious quantities of aspartame in order to inhibit free thought and critical analysis. Okay, so I learned from my holistic favorite doctor, Dr. Sam Muggsy, who has a radio show every Tuesday on KCOR Radio out of Las Vegas. And aspartame is actually mustard gas. Oh, when Palladium Kent Dunt was on there, he was explaining what all these big words really are. And it's poison, mustard gas. And if you're a veteran and you go to the VA, you'll see there's a special clinic just for Parkinson's disease for all of the veterans who were exposed to mustard gas during Vietnam War and other even people who had to stand guard, military who had to stand guard, were still getting that into our skin. Our skin has pores and it goes through their skin and affects the nervous system. So don't buy aspartame gum. Okay. So, in order to inhibit free thought and critical analysis, the same artificial sweetener was introduced into society in mass in a deliberate effort to impose mass mind control social engineering. Rethink what chemicals are putting into your body. Now that we have the internet at our fingertips, we can research for ourselves and begin systematic reclamation of our society through making intelligent choices. Exclamation mark. I hope this sounds good. It sounds a little staticky in my headphones, so maybe I should have tested this on a video instead of going live, but oh well, I'll just do my best. If you're here and you go in the chat, just let me know if you can hear me clearly. So, after over a decade of having fats removed from my diet, it was a pleasure to experience the vast difference in my thinking and energy levels while maintaining a healthy diet. Meats and fish, such as salmon, were especially nutritious to my brain's need for certain cholesterols in order to fire properly again. Salt, cane sugars, magnesium, and calcium also influence brain firing and therefore needed in healthy quantities. Conscious eating helps to ensure that you do not mindlessly overeat and thus create imbalance the other direction. The more I listened to my body, the healthier I became. Herbs and vitamins cleared my cloudy mind. I agree, which made retrieving repressed memory much easier and less exhausting. Medical cannabis is one such helpful herb that was readily available in Alaska. Due to state legislation laws, Dr. Sanjay Gupta's Weed the Third documentary that aired on CNN 420, 420, get it? But it also on April 20th, Jumanji, I'm sure, in 2015. That's an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it's a 5. So a change. That adds up to a 5. So it is a change, right? Because they outlawed it for so long because of all the terpenes. There's different terpenes and spices that help Parkinson's, um, your neurology, your digestive, your I do a video on that. I hope I saved all my notes. There's a lot. Even Washington, D.C. is now addressing the issue due to the voice of the people, especially as pertains to availability for our PTSD military veterans, like the diagnosis for PTSD itself. This herbal solution has been a long time in surpassing suppression of fat. The cannabis herb has numerous health benefits as well as, and then she puts on here www.msn.com/en dash US /health /medical /21 /health I'm sorry, dash benefits dash of dash cannabis / oh my goodness, lowercase ar. Oh my goodness. There's a dash and it's like at the end of a sentence. So is it a dash or is it like continuing the sentence? Well, try both ways, but I'm going to give it to you what it shows. After the AR is a dash, and then capital A, lowercase b, lowercase o, capital N, capital F, as in Frank, C as in cat. And if that was too fast, then just back it up. It's recorded. Pharmaceutical companies have a lot to lose by legislation of medical cannabis, as it gives control back to the people, while usurping pharmaceutical profits. It hits them as hard in the money belt as alternative energies due to the oil mongers and could even potentially disrupt their manufacture manipulation of our food. Cannabis uses is not conducive to mind control or keeping secrets, which is why it is strictly forbidden and its use reprimanded in the military as it was throughout my MK Ultra victimization. It is said the Vietnam War was lost due to cannabis usage, as was intended by Vietnamese war captains who knew of its effects in disrupting military point and shoot programming. Okay, pause that thought. So, when I was an honor student in community college working on my AA, that there was a teacher who taught history. His father was in Vietnam War and right out of high school, and he wasn't really well with the grammar, so that was our job to translate all his memory and his um, just writing of everything that he saw and felt and understood and learned um, into just dotting the i's and crossing the t's, right? Just putting a comma. And meanwhile, we discussed his transcript in or his writings, his diary, journal, whatever you want to call it, notes of documentation of the Vietnam War. And I've really learned a lot from that class and about Ho Chi Minh and the interactions between China and JFK Jr., who really was going to work with Ho Chi Minh, who was trying to free the Vietnam people from enslavement from the French people who were uh, raping the women and um, using them as slaves, right? To off an island there that had what are they growing? So it's really hot there, so maybe tobacco back then. Cigarettes were a big deal or a big business, right? So sadly, there were people hurt, and so Ho Chi Minh was trying to free his people, and when Kennedy was like, "Well, he was trying to cut a deal with Kennedy to help, and President Kennedy, said, "Let's cut a deal that you are near China. You give us information about planes leaving or this and that, and basically spy, and we'll free your people." So we know what happened to President Kennedy, who I believe was on a humanitarian side. And that that's another story about their bloodline who is behind the scenes today. And when that happened, Ho Chi Minh had no choice when he was assassinated to ask Johnson, who was corrupt in that club that I wouldn't want to be in for all the money in the world. Okay. And he said no, flat out said, I don't care. And F you, basically. So Ho Chi Minh was like, what am I going to do? I got China. I'll ask China to help. And so that's what happened. He asked China to help free his people. And I don't know what deal he cut with them, but because they're they were communists, that um, that whole issue with going to war, makes money. So it was the communists. Actually, if you talk to the veterans, they explained Korean was really the most brutal war. I don't know. I haven't been to any of the wars, thank God. I was in the military during Desert Storm, yet I wasn't at combat. And um, my dad was in Vietnam War. And so, anyways, that's my 2 cents about what I know from someone who's been there and lived it and had his experiences of what happened, not propaganda. So, anyways, the cannabis usage is not conductive to mind control or keeping secrets, which is why it is strictly forbidden and it is used reprimanded in the military. Okay, I do that a lot. Medical cannabis can bring you to a peaceful, nonviolent now that helps keep the past from intruding on the present and staying in the now. My son was saying how it'll heal us a lot slower, but it's still a process, and that the only way to speed it up is to really go through your feelings and see my video on channeling Steve and my invisible man. He explains how to speed up the healing process if that's what you want to do. But I'm telling you, be prepared to be in bed for a week. I was. And after that it was less intense. It was a lot better. So it is a therapeutically safe way to balance brain work of writing out memory and reassociating with the present in an uplifting way. I wonder if it sounds staticky. It sounds staticky in my headphones. You know, I'm going to read a chapter, and then after this, I'm going to do some, I'm going to just work with some videos and do some trial and errors and see where the best settings are because I got lots of cool buttons here and dials. So I make sure that it sounds clear instead of staticky for you guys. Okay, so because medical cannabis keeps you in the now, it is not beneficial while writing out memory. Do expect, however, to be making note of memory flashes that naturally surface due to the herb's relaxation and reputed expansion of thought. Keep a notebook with you at all times. Make note of flashes to write out in full after a good night's sleep with a clear mind. Memory work is naturally exhausting. So good. Nutrition and plenty of sleep are essential to well being and being well. The subconscious never sleeps, not even during surgeries. What is discussed during surgical procedures has been proven to impact the outcome. So while sleeping wisely, turn off television or music for optimum healthy rejuvenation. Since sleep, food, and water deprivation are common components of mind control, getting plenty of sleep, eating well, and drinking water are conducive to free thought. And these end in exclamation marks. Likewise, for medical cannabis, its mind expanding properties stimulate free thought, healthy appetite, munchies, and restful sleep, while inspiring being well through a deep sense of well being. And that's our goal, right? Likewise, for medical cannabis, its mind expanding properties stimulate free thought, healthy appetite, and restful sleep while inspiring being well through a deep sense of well being. Since our bodies are made primarily of water, drinking plenty of fresh water is a must for optimum health. Water deprivation was one of the most torturously difficult experiences that was imposed on me for mind control purposes. Being free to satisfy my body's thirst will never be taken for granted! Exclamation mark. My brain feels energized by pure water. Listen to your body's need for water and be mindful to not habitually attempt to satisfy it with a snack or substitute. Nutrition has such a strong impact on our brains that it can immediately affect memory retrieval. Often, when people have been horrified, abused, eating excessively becomes routine, addictive, and subconsciously driven. Stay aware of eating consciously and choose well. Food changes brain chemistry for good or bad, depending on its nutritional value. Comfort foods may stop memory from intrusively flashing, bury it under an avalanche of mind numbing distractions. Likewise, when you are writing out memory, avoid stopping to eat, even if it's a healthy snack, because it will change your brain chemistry enough to inhibit the flow of photographic memory well or recall. That's true, because your blood will go to your stomach, you, and you need it. You need it healing your brain. And usually, in part of the body, like if it's cut, that where there's more blood flow, it will heal a lot faster. Where there's less blood flow, like an earlobe cartilage, it will take longer to heal because less blood flow. And also drinking a lot of water will heal you. But speaking of drinking water, my orange juice. Had a busy morning. Okay, drink water when you are thirsty and hold off. Sorry. um, Drink water when you are thirsty and hold off caffeine or sweetened drinks that can also change your brain chemistry from the mode you are currently in. Unlocking that memory has been an elaborate electrochemical process, and it is wise to just go with the flow and write it all out in full. And also, my son, channeling Stephen, says that the electricity in our bodies is divine spark. So we can also call on our divine to help with this. When you are through writing it out, go ahead and eat that blow pop. You may suddenly be craving, or better yet, understand the source of the craving and listen to your body rather than your past. Nutrition feels good and satisfies long after the eating experience itself. So that's one chapter. The next chapter is deprogram the program first. And I'm going to go on a video and make sure that the sound is clear. 'Cause I want to make sure that um, you can understand me good. Okay. So see you in the next video.